Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whatever place it is you're tuned on to the Life Signatures Radio. I am in the middle of a very important series. In this series, we are talking about leveraging on the law of unseen increase. We've already done at least 4 episodes on this, and we just have 3 or so to go. But this is one of the most important topics that I can handle because it affects every single one of us, especially if you've ever found yourself giving up. Let me just tell you this. If someone opened up the unseen world and showed you what was going on for you before you gave up, you beat yourself up. If someone today opened up the unseen world and told you or showed you what is going on for you as a result of the actions that you are taking, even though in your own world, in your own empirical world, you're not seeing any growth, you're not seeing any progress seemingly. If they showed you what is going on in the unseen world, you will be motivated to do even much more. Go out and jog again. Go and make that sales presentation again. Go and write another article. Go and write another book. Go and deliver another speech. Go and do another episode. Because there is progress in the unseen world. Let us go deeper into that today. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures Podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures Podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
This is as important as it gets. We have said that if you wanted to know, if you're really asking very many questions and you wanted to know what in the world does that unseen world look like? How in the world does it look like? What is it? How does it operate? I started by telling you yesterday that number one, it operates on the law that says growth is in micro units. Every time you start something, there is a micro unit of growth. There are micro units of growth that cannot be quantified. Even if in the physical and tangible empirical world, you are seeing setbacks and you're seeing failure. You're feeling pain and you're feeling embarrassment. It doesn't negate the fact that on the flip side, in the unseen world, something happening positively for you is going on. So we need to understand that growth, that's number one. Growth is in micro units. This is precisely what this law is all about. The growth or increase is unseen, but it is there. It is there, you can count on it. The only place where you cannot count growth every time you've taken action, the only place is when you are dead. As in dead and buried. That's when things ain't going on. And probably when you are not taking action. When you just sit there. Actually, the opposite is also happening. The law of unseen decrease is taking place when you're not working. And it is happening also in micro units. That's why you don't see it. Let me quote for you what James Clear said. I quoted this about 2 episodes back. He said that the cost of good habits is in the present. The cost of your bad habits is in the future. Right now you don't see the fruits And that's what we're looking for all the time. We don't see the fruits of our good habits because they are happening in micro units. And on the flip side, we don't see the fruits of our bad habits right now because they're happening in micro units. Sleeping around and you've not been caught. You think you're just doing it and it's just going to disappear. It's happening in micro units against you. Unless you rise up and address it, it's going to catch up with you. It's happening in micro units. We are not living in a world where nothing goes. We are living in a world that is full of energy. Everything is happening every single time, for and against. Depending on the action that you and I have taken, things are happening in micro units. Your growth is in micro units. That thing that you have started, the moment you started to make a decision, you even conceived something in your mind even before you decided, there was an effervescent force that was raring to go in the unseen world to start building you up and to start giving you points in the unseen world. But this is happening in micro units. It's not a big bang theory. You know why those guys normally say, those guys who say God doesn't exist? They will tell you that the world was created or created itself. And you know how they will say it? They will say it's over 300 billion years ago. And they're just playing into this thing of growth in micro units. Because you cannot tell me that it was 2,000 years ago. Christians will tell you 6,000 years ago, something like that. It was billions upon billions of millions years ago. We cannot know. Slowly by slowly. That's the point I am making here. That it takes time. I'm going ahead of myself. The naked eye cannot see it. The naked eye cannot see what is taking place in the unseen world. You cannot see it. But that does not mean that it is not there. Your growth is in micro units. So every time you're going to do something, every time you go out there and you're trying to do some push-ups, and you go and you weigh yourself and probably you've even weighed more, let me tell you something. Your growth is in micro units. Don't measure by what you see right now. Just have a mental assent in your mind that I have grown. That action has made me to grow today. I'm a better person today because of the action that I did. I'm a better person today because I have this one more episode on my podcast. The naked eye cannot see it. It doesn't mean it's not there. It is there. The moment you feel frustrated, listen to this, the moment you feel frustrated about your inspired actions that you decided to take, I want you to remember this point. I want you to remember that you have gained something even against that frustration that you're feeling. I want you to remember that you've gained some kind of micro unit in growth. And the thing that growth needs, I'm going to go ahead of myself and tell you, it needs momentum. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. We know it is true. We know it is true that something is happening. When they say that pain is weakness leaving the body, they must have been onto something. And we talked about that for a while in the previous series. When they say that when you feel pain, it is weakness leaving your body, they are actually speaking about this law of unseen increase. So stop focusing on the pain. Stop focusing on the weakness. Stop focusing on the embarrassment that you're feeling. Stop focusing on the frustration and the discomfort. Be comforted instead with the fact that there is an increase in the unseen world, albeit it is in the micro units that are immeasurable, unseen, that cannot even be felt. But it is there. What these guys need is more of the same. The more of the same they get, the more you increase the chances of now starting to kind of birth this thing in the physical, empirical world that we live in. If you wanted to see the effects or the fruits of your labor, You've got to be patient. The pain and the frustration you're feeling doesn't mean that things are not going on. Things are actually going on. Tomorrow, we will look at the second point as to why you should trust the law of unseen increase. Until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.